So, our next review is based on a product similar to how Domino's did the Noid video game. So, here's the next review.
I love cola. It does not infringe upon copyrights. Cola.
Check it out.
Developed by the video game company Kid, whose previous claims to fame were titles such as Burrito Fighter and Low G-Man on the NES, Pepsi Man for the PSX is probably the biggest game with a commercial tie-in that you'll ever see. For those not familiar with the Pepsi Man character, Pepsi Man was a Japanese mascot for the Pepsi-Cola Corporation. He was featured in a number of commercials where someone would always be extremely thirsty and Pepsi Man would have to come to their aid and deliver the delicious cool drink we all know as Pepsi. Usually this would be done in some goofball manner that ended up actually being pretty funny. So with the success of the campaign, someone decided why not make an interactive advertisement based on this popular character for the Japanese PSX. And when I say interactive advertisement, I mean interactive advertisement, because the back of the package claims that this is exactly what the game is. Well, at least that's what I'm told. I really can't read Japanese. Even with that being said, strangely enough, the game is pretty entertaining. It's a bit simple, but it's still fun. Just like the commercials, the object of the game is to quench the thirst of the distressed by delivering them Pepsi. Not a really easy task, since these people tend to live in the most crowded, hazardous places on the earth. On the journey to quench the thirst of these Pepsi lushes, you will be faced with many obstacles, such as potholes, construction workers, moving vans that drop furniture, buffalo, and bikers, just to name a few. You're armed with no weapons, and you can only run, jump, and slide your way through the game. The game's linear gameplay is seen from the third-person point of view, and consists of 8 stages, each having their own set of levels. Most of the levels are viewed from behind Pepsi Man, while one of them mixes it up by moving the camera in front of him as he is chased by a variety of things, such as huge Pepsi cans, tractor trailers, and a pile of logs. This is very reminiscent of one of the camera angles in the PSX game Crash Bandicoot. These for me were the hardest boards, because not only do some of these objects just hit you, but there are objects that are coming at you from the front at the same time. As for the other core levels, you're just mostly running up the screen and dodging all the obstacles you can. But again, every once in a while the game tends to mix it up a little by having your character go through these obstacles on a skateboard, a wheelbarrow, and sometimes in a garbage can, where your controls become reversed. The graphics of the game are pretty decent for the PSX, and the music and sound effects are pretty standard. Actually, the music is pretty funny. In the commercials that starred Pepsi Man, they would always have his theme music playing in the background. The same can be said about the game. It kinda gets really repetitive, but they do mix it up on every stage by remixing different variations of the song. This is definitely one of those songs that, once you get it stuck in your head, it's gonna be there for quite a while. The game's music is actually Red Book audio, meaning you can pop this game disc into your home CD player and do a little jig to the music if you want. Well, if that's what you're into. One thing that I noticed while playing this game is that I have never seen Pepsi Man hand anyone a can of Pepsi. Instead, he does this. Then the scene cuts to everybody cheering holding a Pepsi can. How does that actually work? Let me try.
Pepsi Man! Pepsi Man!
Well, I guess it kinda does work. One thing I find rather funny, and actually pretty insulting at the same time, is the full motion video that plays between these stages featuring this guy.
Pepsi for TV game.
I'm guessing he's supposed to represent what Americans look like or something, but the guy is a disgusting slob. It kind of makes you wonder what Japanese people really think of us. Moving along, the game is very Western oriented. All of the main text in the game is actually in English, and the spoken words you hear in the cutscenes and full motion videos are also in English, but with Japanese subtitles.
Ran out of Pepsi.
All of the game's locales also seem to be very Western-centric. None of these places look like they're supposed to be in Japan. This game wasn't Pepsi Man's first appearance in a video game. He was actually a secret character in the Japanese version of Fighting Vipers. He was actually pretty darn good, too.
Win!
It is fair to say that this is definitely not one of the most in-depth games for the PSX. But that doesn't necessarily make it a bad game. With the goofball antics of the game and its obstacle course-like gameplay, Pepsi Man is definitely a game worth trying out. It is, in my opinion, by far, the best interactive advertisement that I have ever played.